Hey everybody, can you hear me? Put a one in the chat if you can. Put a two in the chat if I have a robot voice, because you know that's happened in the past. I'm trying. But I am back in the saddle again, y'all. Can't get rid of Miss Eve, and you can't get rid of the voice for the missing, my 501c3 nonprofit. It's official. And thank you for being here. I have missed you guys. Let's see who's all in the chat. Crystal, My Shed Lines, Brooklyn, Miss Rubug, and Dope. Thank you for being here. Those are my homies, my sleuth homies, but they're also my family. So they do a lot of, you know, back end stuff for my channel and the sleuthing that we do. So thank you guys for being here. You have been my number one fans. Hey, Tales from the Fort. I am groggy too, Tails. I understand where you're coming from. It was everything in me to get out of bed this morning. So, some updates on the channel. So again, I have that 501c3 nonprofit, which has been taking up a lot of my time to make sure that I'm doing it the right way. Hey, Jeep Girl. And, one of the things that I was having to think about before actually starting to get donations was, first of all, I didn't want to do it in 2022 because it was the end of the year and I'm an accountant, right? So the smart thing to do is wait until 2023 so you don't have to get into all that tax mumbo jumbo with it. It gets really complicated with 501c3s. There's a lot to it. So I held off on that, but I had to really make sure, like, what am I doing with this? Do I really, you know, want to just raise funds to help find missing children, or do we need to do more? Especially after hearing about Michael Vaughn, not finding him right in the backyard of 1102 Red Wing with the Wanderers, right? He's still missing. And all that money to get back there from a tip, you got to wonder sometimes, was it as concrete as they said? And it's not just that. It's missing children from 20 years ago. For instance, Logan Bowman from Galax, I think it's Galax, Virginia area. Okay, he hasn't been found. It's been 20 years, but his parents have been convicted. Horrible case, which we will be getting into. So I had to really just think about what all is this nonprofit going to entail, right? And that is going to not only help families of victims who are missing, and there might be some foul play, etc., um, but to get law enforcement or someone, an outside agency, let's just say Cold Case Foundation or something similar or better, to assist law enforcement. Because look, Moscow, perfect example. Kevin, I think his name is Kevin Gongalves, Kaylee's father, said it himself. Moscow just didn't have enough. Didn't have enough people, resources, etc. Then the FBI has to step in. And I'm going to tell you, the FBI has a lot to do, right? And I'm so thankful for that. But without some of the things that they have done to help with the Moscow murders, I don't know if they're going to be where they are right now within, a month. So I also want to assist families who have had enough with their either local police department, state, whatever it takes to help them either find their missing loved one or friend or whatever it is. I just want to encompass all of it, not just like law enforcement. If they want a private investigator, I'm willing to do that. That's just how I feel, because it's not always going to be where a police department is wanting to help. Sometimes police, depending on who's like chief of police, who runs the gamut, right? You're not going to get what you need. And sometimes you do have to go outside of them and do it yourself. And I am all for it. What is going on in the chat? I see some things. Oh, Dory watching grandbabies and Eve. That makes me feel good. Tell them I said hi. And love on him and kiss him and spoil him. I know I was late. I'm really sorry. If I'm not late, there's something wrong. All right. You might need to ask me. Crystal has lost it. She always loses it. Check my text already. No, Doxy says, don't mind us, Eve. I usually don't, but I'm always listening. All right, I'm checking my text. So, hold on. What is a stream elements bot? Dope. I don't know. I really don't. I think it's like a bot that helps me with, you know, like if somebody puts in all caps, it'll tell them, please don't do that. It's an automatic message. But I think everybody in here knows the rules. So that's what it is. Sorry. But I don't know how to turn it off. I've been trying to turn it off for like weeks. But anyway, I wanted to bring some attention to things that we are going to discuss. I'm going live again today at 3 p.m. Central, which is 4 p.m. Eastern. We're going to talk about Michael Vaughn. I was going to time that out. You're going to time my bot out? I do what you got to do. I mean, maybe that's what we need is to time it out because I don't know. What is it you do here, bot? Because, yeah. We're going to talk about Michael Vaughn today. And we're going to talk about the Wanderers. We're going to talk about why in the world is there no actual charge against the Wanderers or anyone for that matter of Michael's alleged homicide. As hard as it is to say that, J.D. Huff stated many, many times that Michael is presumed deceased. And I know that that's hard, I'm sure, for family members and friends to hear that, and you want to keep hope. Totally understand that. I still keep hope. Hey, Blue and Gold. However, However, at the same time, you have to be realistic and step away from that as a sleuth, right? And someone who has covered Michael's case extensively, did interviews with the babysitter, have spoken to Fruitland Police Department many times, trying to get a search together, which ironically around that time, things went a little crazy. It was actually right before the Wanderers got arrested for the felony gun charges. Interesting. So anywho, don't believe in coincidences, but that was interesting. But getting back to the point here, we need to talk about what doesn't make sense when it comes to Michael Vaughn's case. There have been other people on the Treasure Valley community page that have stated specifically, this doesn't make sense. We need more information. We don't know what's going on. And this is locals, right? Hey, A1, Always Street, excuse me. Thank you for being here. Yes, Twitter Weasels for Monkey, welcome in. So we're going to go over that pretty extensively today. Now, I would really, really, really like to collaborate with another creator who can kind of dig in more than I can on specific things. Maybe Jay is for Justice. I've reached out to her and hopefully she'll, get back to me on the details of that. But, definitely there are things that we have discovered, the weasels, if you will, the sleuth team. And it's mind-blowing about Sarah Wander specifically, and Stacy for that matter. And not only that, people that are around Brandon Shirtliff, the guy that was literally on a poster, huge poster for the world to see, and Adrian Lucian. There's some things that kind of don't make sense either. If somebody is complicit or has knowledge of a missing child, the way that he behaved out in the open, and then people backing him up around him with he had over 1,000 friends on Facebook, or 2,000 maybe. It just doesn't make sense to me that someone would just live their best life after that. Some things just don't make sense. And then now, FPD was like, oh, they called in. We've talked to them. Thanks, everybody. When they weren't wanted, they were just wanted to be talked to. They weren't wanted as in they had a warrant out, and that's what everybody did. Everybody put these Find these people. Don't approach them like they're some dangerous, on the run FBI's most wanted. That's not what happened. So maybe this is just a tactic. I don't know. They did say that there were other people, and I'm sorry, my printer's going on. My brother's here to print off some paperwork, and like it's on page 50. I'm sorry. Um, so excuse the noise, but getting back to the point, why? Why is this happening the way that it is? And when y'all see the stuff that we have found and we have requested, all legally, right? You're going to kind of understand the back end, I guess, of Sarah and Stacy, because nobody gave a shit. I'm going to tell you that. And my beep beep is gone. So we're just going to have to cuss today. But there's just it doesn't make sense. And I think a lot of people feel the same way. I've seen it on Facebook. So we're going to get into it and we're going to see what is going on. And hopefully, Fruitland Police Department will update the community more than anybody. Right? You can't just tell the family things when if they're telling them anything at all. I had a little birdie tell me that one of the grandfathers said they don't tell them anything. You didn't hear it from me. Yeah, you did. But why can't after all of that craziness, nothing? Even if it's just, we're still working on it. Things will come out soon. We're still working with the prosecuting attorney's office. And I did notice, or we found, that there was a change of plea in Stacy Wandra's felony gun charge. He changed his plea. He also had new counsel, right? He also requested for a speedy trial within 90 days, 60 or 90 days. And the judge turned around and said, 90 or more days. Like, you're funny. So it's just very, very interesting to me why these things are happening the way they are. And I don't know if things just started snowballing or coming into fruition when Chris Madonna from the interview room and the Cold Case Foundation, I don't know if that had something to do with it, with the expertise. I'm just saying that if it's all exculpatory or circumstantial evidence, because these two people are just not on the same level mentally, the capacity is not the same as Norm, and maybe somebody around them is setting them up and using them, that needs to be discussed. Innocent people go to jail, and I'm not saying they are. Like, they've done some sketchy shit, and they're still on my radar. But I would really hate to see a case get thrown out if they were guilty because of how damning the lack of evidence is. If you go and watch Sarah Wandra's court hearing about the bond set, the public defender at the time was like, look, there is some issues in the probable cause affidavit with the lack of information and evidence. So that tells me, oh, they ain't got nothing much. Or maybe they were waiting for the dirt that was taken out of the backyard to be sifted through. I don't know. But you have to ask yourself this. Could somebody have set them up and planted evidence in that backyard? Totally. Especially if they knew they were in jail. Let's just say they knew in May they were both in the slammer, which they were. Could somebody potentially mess around back there? Set them up. Easy targets. Let me tell y'all about Sarah and Stacy. They would call the cops on anything at any time. I have never seen so many calls to police over some stupid stuff or things that were legitimate, but the background information is so out of this world. You're like, what? How did you get here? I mean, it's just, you could just tell where they are. You tell where they are by reading what we have. And not everything's going to be released, but some of it is. And I apologize if I laughed during one or two of them because it's just so outlandish on the call log that we got. Like, you can't help but laugh because you can read what the police are saying to her and what she's saying back. And just forgive me already because it's really not funny, but it kind of is. um, let me check on chat. I've been rambling. I didn't want to like make this a very long live because I'm going live again. And I might even go live tonight because I've been, gone for so long and not putting out content that the algorithm's like, you're back to where you used to be, like when you first started. Only like 90 people are checking my videos out if I do post them. So I need to ramp it up. And I'm willing to do that because there's so much to do. With Quentin Simon's case and Summer Wells going cold. Oakley Carson, there is some updates on that. Cody Bigsby, there's nothing much. We got to do something. Like, this is the year. This is the year that we have got to stop letting either parents or people around them harm these babies. I mean, they're blatantly doing it out in the open. There was a child, Harsh Reality did a great video on that child who was just wheeling a gun around at the apartment complex, sitting on the steps. I was mad for so many reasons on that video, and here's why. First of all, he had a whole ass gun. Second of all, he was at the top of the stairs, and mama don't play. Even my 4-year-old, I'm watching him, right? Because that's just what you do. And then third, it was at night and somebody was recording him. I'm not really, there's so many feelings. Rage. What's going on in that house? And Harsh made an excellent point. Let's just replace the gun with time. Excellent point, Harsh. Let's just say you were out in the public on a street, in a field, whatever, near some water. Let's just say that gun is worth 20 minutes. And that child either is harmed or abducted or whatever. Why are parents not, or whoever is responsible for the child, not held to the same standard just because there wasn't a specific circumstance, like, let's say, seeing the gun in that child's hand? You can't see what the child is doing if they disappear, if there's no evidence of such, like in Michael Vaughn's case, in my opinion. Why is that neglect different? And I just thought Harsh nailed that one because he put it into perspective. You're going to allow parents to not take care of their babies, but as long as there isn't something like a gun in one of their hands or a knife or something, they're okay. Does that make sense? I guess I'm rambling, but it really was a good video. Please check it out. Hey, Mr. Eve. Sorry, I forgot to text you that I was going live. So I'm going to play a video before I go. I just wanted to update everybody and say hi. Sorry, I've been gone. The podcast is still in the works. I was kind of trying to figure out how to tie in my mediumship with the podcast, and I finally figured it out. And so I wanted to do a whole slew of old cases and do the readings while I'm doing the podcast recording. Man, oh man, I cannot wait to start releasing those. But I want to have enough for at least 2 months because Mr. Eve and my business, he works on airplanes and releases them to go fly. We've been busy. It's been popping. Mr. Eve has been awesome, just doing amazing. And so that kind of has taken up some time, but I'm back. I ain't going nowhere. So, oh, thank you, Mr. Eve. I appreciate it. Foxy says, I love your background. Thank you. I appreciate it. So that's the background right there is where the podcast, it's where I do my podcast. And then this is obviously A Voice for the Missing is my nonprofit. And then, me. But these two right here, these signs are actually right here. I just didn't, I don't know what, I just thought this looked good. So I hope it does. But Hellcat, hey, Miss Eve and everyone. I haven't left, just had to get a new number and reload everything. Totally get it. I've been gone for a while, so Me and you are on the same boat. Hey, Guidance, I didn't see you here, sweetheart. Thank you for being here. Marcia says, see something, say something. That's right. And you know I can't not say something. So let me find that video real quick. I wanted to also update you on something that I'm going to be doing a video on. I'm actually trying to get it out right now. It's about remains found in Virginia near Iron Ridge, which is actually very close to that Logan Bowman case from 20 plus years ago. Awful, awful case. That little boy was abused so badly. But his remains were never found. Haley Cummings' remains were never found. Obviously, Summer Wells, right? And Michael Vaughn. But in this specific area in Virginia, they found remains in September of 2022, guys. Do you want to know when NamUs put it out? The 10th of January this month. So you're going to wait, what, 5 months? 4 months to put out that information? My mouth dropped. Absolutely. There are 4,000 unidentified people a year. Okay. And only 1,000 of them actually get identified over time. An estimate. 4,000 unidentified bodies per year. 1,000 or so are identified eventually. So what are they doing with all of these unidentified remains? We don't know. They're just stowed away. I did not see one news article after the September of 2022 about these remains. And let me tell you, these remains were found, I think, 10 or 15 minutes from Logan Bowman's, where he lived, and 2.5 hours away from Ben Hill Road. These remains were found in a trash can, and nearby was a sleeping bag and a Winnie the Pooh blanket. And when I heard that Winnie the Pooh blanket, I immediately thought of Kaylee Anthony. Remember the Winnie the Pooh backpack? It just like broke me, because that's the one case that actually did break me. So, and Michael Vaughn's case. So we're going to go over that. Actually, the video isn't uploaded all the way, so I'll just upload it whenever it's done. So you guys just look out for that. And also look out for the actual donations for A Voice for the Missing. We got to do this. We got to help people find a way to look for their loved ones, especially the children. Some people just don't get any help at all, especially the cold cases from like 5+ years back. So we got to do something. And I also want to donate to other nonprofits. You know, Texas EquiSearch, you know how I had my issues with the moles or whatever, sabotaging that or helping to sabotage that. So I'm going to move away from that. I donate personally to them. I want to donate to these other smaller ones who could also help, because Texas EquiSearch is very specific, whereas other ones like Canine Rescue and other programs need money too. It's not just Texas EquiSearch. They actually do really well. So that's kind of where I'm going to focus on. But look out for that video. I'm actually going to start pumping out a lot of videos this time. I said that last time, but I really am this time. So what's coming is I did compare Brian Koberger to a few serial killers, even though he is not found guilty of the crimes yet. He is not an actual serial killer, right? Or mass murderer yet, because he hasn't been found guilty. But I'm going to still compare some of the things he said, done, and what other people have said to the people that we know are serial killers, to see if there's any similarities. Y'all just hang on to your butt cheeks, as I say. All right. And then we also have the Kaylee Anthony. I found something on Maps that is a little spooky and spiritual, if you get what I'm saying. I have even sent off what I found to an expert in photography and especially maps, to see if what I'm seeing was just me being goofy or if it was an actual potential apparition. So that's coming too. And then the podcast. Woohoo! Finally. Dope said I searched this morning and no follow up articles after remains were found. Oh, Shed Lines Love Your Heart, Eve. Thank you. I love my weasels in their hearts and everyone who has followed me from the beginning. Heather, for instance, guidance. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate you guys being patient with me while I get my shit together, which I know I do that a lot, but it's only up from here, I swear. Nature Lover, hi, hun. Guidance, girl, I've definitely been down the rabbit hole. Okay, weasels, this is half of my problem right here. We go through so many rabbit holes all the time that I look at the clock and let's just say it's 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. And I'm like, all right, I got some time. I got some time to sleuth and I'm going to go do some videos and all of my other stuff, my accounting stuff, blah, blah, blah. And it is damn near 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And we've been in huddle in Discord for 3 hours. So I've got to be better about that. But I do not regret any of it because we have really brainstormed a lot and have gotten information that we wouldn't have thought to reach out for. That really is helping, especially with Michael. I've even jumped on Sleepy Space last night. Never in a million years I think I'd do that. Well, I mean, no, look, everyone has their niche and they're good at what they're good at. And people see that. So I say, do what you do. Don't be ashamed. And stay up all night. These bags under these eyes, it's my fault, but y'all know who. I'm looking at you. All right, guys. So yeah, this video is not going to upload, or it hasn't finished uploading yet. So I'll do it here in a minute. Thank you so much for being here. I love you so much. Please let me know what kind of merch items you would like, because I am working on that too. I'm always one of those, everybody loves hoodies, everybody loves blankets, and everybody loves coffee mugs. That's just me. Let me know in the comments what you think. All of the proceeds are going right into the Voice for the Missing nonprofit. I don't take a dime from it. Mr. Eve's like, are you ever going to make any money? No, that's for you. Hoodies. Yeah. All right, guys, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going live again at 3 p.m. Central. Make sure to hit that notification bell when you see that live notification. All right, guy. A bucket hat. Hellcat gone. We need weasel clothes. Yeah, you know what? I'll get some weasel socks. You know how Navalis True Crime had true crimes or weasel socks where it was on the bottom so you could stomp on the weasels when you walked? Maybe I got something for them too. I don't know, maybe. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Again, have a wonderful day. And you know, as I say, drink your water. Take my own advice on that. Hug yourself. Hug your babies. Hug your fur babies. All the babies. Let's bring them home. Let's be a voice for the missing. Have a wonderful day, guys. See you at 3. Bye.
You say throw in the towel, you just don't know better. well. Actually you do, but you like acting all innocent. I did you favors without asking. When the tables turn, shoot me down like assassin. See you getting mad. Hey, you're so loser, cause you know I'm blowing past him. Constantly seeking validation is out of fashion. Now you want a session, but that shit will never happen. You can use my lyrics as your captions. You can use my lyrics as your captions. Changing motives when you realize you couldn't have it. Running right back to me, bad habits. Said how I feel, that's a rap, yeah. I know you waiting up, trying on magic. You should put time and time again. Your results looking average. Hit me for advice, but it's more of a distraction. You can use my lyrics as your captions. Hey.